All right, so today we're going to talk about how to do 2-point perspective. We're also going to review a little bit about 1-point perspective to show the differences in how you approach them. For either one, you are starting, I'm going to kind of start up here for 1-point perspective. 1-point perspective, you start with your horizon line. You start with 1 point. You make a box or rectangle. And what part of the box you are drawing, whether you realize it or not, is you're drawing the face, one of the sides of it. So you are seeing a solid rectangular square. From here, you go from the corners and go to your vanishing point. So in 1-point perspective, everything is either angling to the vanishing point, or it is perpendicular to the horizon line, or parallel to the horizon line. So as we finish that box up, another horizontal line and perpendicular line. That is basic 1-point perspective. Horizon line, vanishing point. You draw the face of the box. From the corners, you go to the vanishing point. You finish off the box. These are parallel, right? And then these are parallel. Okay. I don't know if I did those right. Geometry marks, you know, theorems, all that. Now, 2-point perspective. You start the same. You start with your horizon line, but now, guess what? The difference between a 1 and 2-point perspective. 2 points. It's best to do them as far off to the sides of your paper as you can. And then the difference is that in 1-point perspective, we started with the face, okay? We started with this. 2-point perspective, we're gonna start with the edge. So on this is technically the edge of the box. So we're starting with the edge. So that's kind of where it gets a little different. So now from the top and bottom, I am now going to draw my lines to my vanishing point. So in theory, it's very similar. You start with a part of the box and then you go to the vanishing points. But since this is an edge, we're in 2-point perspective now. So now we're seeing like a corner of a building basically. So from top, you go to both. From bottom, you go to both. From here, we went from those corners here. So now the next step was to finish off the box. So same thing. I'm gonna finish off my box in between my guidelines. Figure out where I want this edge to be. So now this is the part that throws people off. If people are gonna mess anything up on 2-point perspective, this is it. So now you can see it's starting to look. But this is above the horizon line, right? So now I should be able to see the bottom of it. You can't go from these corners over here, you know, you already did that. You got to crisscross. So from this corner here, I got to go to the opposite vanishing point. So I'll go from here, line it up all the way over there, and go across. Same thing over here, line it up. Once again, as long as I'm using light pressure, when I start erasing all of my guidelines. All right, now I have a box in 2-point perspective. Basically, what 2-point perspective is that there's two, vanishing points. I'm starting with an edge, and it's kind of receding in space in 2 directions. This one is receding in space 1 direction to 1 point. This is receding and getting smaller as it gets closer to those vanishing points. So this is above eye level. I'm seeing the bottom of it. If it were below eye level, I'd be seeing the top of it. So go, try a few boxes, different areas, and see what happens.